Let's learn about Rocket League because, well, it's good to learn new things. Rocket League is 3-on-3 soccer with rocket-powered cars instead of humans. The majors of Rocket League esports is called Rocket League Championship Series, or RLCS.
This is Rocket League!
The current world champs, NRG, with Justin, Turbopolsa, and Garrettg, a soft-spoken Southern gentleman who, as made famous in his tweet, for some reason likes to put milk in before cereal. To help us understand why Rocket League is so awesome, we have current world champion Garrett Gordon, aka Garrettg. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
And with 10 seconds left, NRG looking to pressure Garrett. Can he find the shot? Oh my goodness! Garrettg on the pass from Justin.
You've attended every single World Championship in Rocket League history, and finally, after a crazy journey, you are now a world champion. So now that you've had some time to settle while wearing that crown, how's it fitting, Garrett? Are you still on top of the world?
Yeah, honestly, when I look back and think about it, that's when I am. Outside of that, it's kind of normal. It just feels like a huge relief. You know, I think about it's weird because as soon as I won, I was like starting to get kind of sad because I was thinking about like what would have happened if I lost.
Yeah.
You know, I was just so happy that I finally got that win because you know I've taken a lot of heat in the past for not winning after seven tries, even though it's not that easy. But honestly, it was just a huge relief. It's hard to remember what it was like in that moment because I remember I almost blacked out from screaming so loud, which sounds crazy, but it was a super emotional moment, one goal away from losing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, I haven't even taken it in yet. Like I've just been trying to relax and not think about it too much, but it does. I actually can't believe it happened, to be honest.
Okay, well, Garrett, I want you to take us through it now. I want you to remember it now because that moment was pure emotion. You could see how important this was to you, your teammates, and your organization. So many of us watching actually shed tears during that moment. Can you please relive it now? Like, walk us through those winning emotions.
I mean, okay, so the beginning of the series, I thought it was going to be pretty easy because we won 4-1, but then it was just such a close series. It always is with Vitality. Those French players are crazy good. And it comes to Game 7, and I remember talking to Justin afterwards. We were getting instant flashbacks to Season 5 because we were in the same situation. I mean, 4 players on the field were the exact same. And, we were getting a little bit anxious there. We thought it was going to be another Season 5, and that would go into 2 Game 7s in a grand final, and losing both would have been horrible. But yeah, I just remember we went to overtime, and we were screaming at each other to stay confident. We had Sizz being Sizz, yelling at us, to keep up the comms and stuff like that. And it really was a short overtime, which was great. I just remember lobbing up that pass to Justin and screaming it was open.
Yeah.
To me.
Alright, so double run. Open.
And he just hit a banger, and we just absolutely exploded. I mean, I almost cried in the very beginning. I thought I was going to cry in the interview, but I didn't. I didn't cry till after, which was great. I remember Justin almost fell off the stage because he couldn't believe what had just happened. I mean, when we won Beyond the Summit, which was a really small tournament a couple months before, we couldn't believe we won that. So this was just on a whole nother scale. I mean, it was a dream come true. I've been thinking about that almost every day, probably for the last 3 years, and it actually happened.
Is it weird being a veteran in the scene and still being so friggin' young?
Kinda, because I feel like some players call me a Rocket League boomer because I've been here since the very beginning. But really, it just makes me relieved that I feel like I can do it for a bit longer. Even though I've had so much play time and stuff like that, and I just want to keep going. So, yeah, I guess it helps, but at the same time, I fear these new players who are just playing a ridiculous amount of hours, trying to take my spot. But I'm keeping up there, so we'll see.
I mean, I feel like you got another few years in you, bud, but NRG has quite a few high-profile investors, A-Rod and, of course, Shaq. So have you had any interactions with the big man?
I have not yet. I almost met Shaq at E-League one year, but it didn't work out completely. Partially on my fault. I was kind of lazy. But
Garrett.
Well, we were practicing, and stuff like that, and he was busy. He was a busy guy. I saw his car though, because he was there for NBA Live, I think it's called, something like that. But I'll have to meet him eventually, though. I know he's tweeted and stuff about us before, so that's good enough.
Okay, fair enough. I'll be watching and waiting your Twitter feed to see when that goes down. Garrett, it's always a treat getting to chat with you. Cheers to putting milk in before cereal, and best of luck with the new season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.